are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
Of every Protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
Collective cognitive compliance is a key part of your prescribed
Contact lost.
The advanced technology and know-how behind the mental refreshment process.
Just what are they up to?
That's why we are all happy and contented, and others are not.
Greetings, unscheduled walk-in.
Regain sight.
Are you mentally refreshed?
Go. Please, just leave us. Just leave.
Efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
I fulfill my duty to the Sovereign as a loyal protector.
Remember, all subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Consul.
All subjects under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Sovereign.
Prudence dictates we
All it took was some light instruction and a restorative cocktail to abrade my imperfections.
refreshment post-hits. Good idea. The law.
We're refreshed, so refreshed, mentally.
It is the duty of every protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
Finally! Maybe now I can get to the truth of this kill order nonsense. I just need to check our comms device for a coded message from my old acquaintance, Severin. I knew it! He wants to help me find out who's behind this. I sent a reply telling him to meet me here on Cloister. It's not too far and should be safe.
You. I don't know you. But you, I do. It's good to see you, Asa. It's me, Severin. You know, I've never been to Cloister before. It's cold.
What is wrong with you? Boy, damn it! Did they mentally refresh you?
No, let's just say I'm well lubricated. You tried the new Prestige gin? It helps when you have to do something you really don't want to do. Yes, there are a bunch of sentinels in hiding. When I give the word, they're to execute both of you.
Not before I mentally refresh your brain pan with my knife.
Maybe I deserve to be. I didn't want to do this. I guess I shouldn't have questioned the kill order so loudly. It was real. It came from the exalted leader herself. She summoned me, knew of the message I'd sent, said I'd ruined everything. To save myself, save the Dawn, I had to do this. I'm a coward. I didn't want to die. I'm sorry, Asa.
I do not appreciate your mockery. This is a true betrayal. One that demands to be paid for in blood. Starting with Acolyte Severin here.
No. Sentinels! Target confirmed! Help! Sentinels! The target is here!
My dad! Little pick-me-up for you!
I'm alive. Who needs to die?
I can't believe the Exalted Leader sent Severin as bait. Not to mention betraying the Dawn to save her own life. What a coward. The unspeakable things I will do when I find her. Well, once I find her. The Exalted... No, I won't refer to her as such any longer. Dagmar continually moved around for safety. She always initiated contact with me. We do know that she was in league with the Sentinels, though. There's nothing of it but to get ourselves inside their headquarters on Praetor. We'll track her by accessing their comm system.
We don't need to worry about their systems. My parents were vigilant. I stole their access codes when I was younger, but never had the nerve or call to use them. Once we do, they'll become unusable, as they'll set off all sorts of alarms. Dagmar didn't betray us to the Sentinels. She is a Sentinel, with a fucking office here in Central Control. It's enough to make one take leave of their sanity.
Oh, child, I think that tram has long since cleared the station.
I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that. Fortunately, there's an easy solution to Dagmar's betrayal. One which involves removing her head from her body. Or maybe we should start with the disemboweling? So many choices.
I suppose congratulations are in order for having dispatched so many Sentinels. Can't rightly say I'm surprised, what with your knack for wanton violence. But still, impressive. And let's not forget that I was the one who gave Azahelia Leitinger a purpose and fulfillment. Look at how much fun you've had.
Oh, she's dead already. But I might make it quick if you have a good explanation for your betrayal.
Let's not be hasty. I mean, can it even be a betrayal if it was always lies? But I must say, when I started the Dawn at the Consul's behest, I knew you were the perfect candidate.
What are you talking about? There were cultists before me.
No, there were not. The fiction of a cult was born out of the need to convince the Sovereign to return to the true spirit of the Protectorate. The Consul feared he was too weak. I see that Aza isn't the only willfully ignorant person here. Society needs to be controlled for the greater good, by any means necessary. Or would you prefer a more corporate way of life? If you have issue with the nature of humankind, perhaps you should take it up with the Grand Architect.
Dagmar, all this can't be right. How can you spout such lies? Our cause is righteous. It has to be.
As much as I'd prefer to not anger you, I must say your willful ignorance is still a thing to behold. You are always so willing to accept even the most specious of arguments. I can only hope your luck has run its course and the remaining Sentinels are able to put you down. Your death would put me back in the Consul's good graces. Goodbye, Aza.
No, that's too quick. What about... No, not painful enough. Yes, that's it. I just need to find a piece of heat-conducting metal and something to peel the skin effectively.
Dear, you really must try to work smarter, not harder, when it comes to effectively inflicting pain before eliminating a target. You'll wear yourself out.
I've no idea what you're speaking of. The Glorious Dawn is the future of Arcadia. Dagmar must die violently because she betrayed us. I know of no other way to act.
Imbeciles! How did you let Aza get this far? Stop her! She means to assassinate me!
Even considering yet my dead... Hold... What? Even considering aligning yet my dead... No, hold...
Investigating hostile intentions. Grudge, you know.
Be cornered. She's sure to have an escape route. We should find it. And out of all the cultists, she elevated me to the high. She was my supervisor. And when she saw my pain, she looked into my background. It was then that she... My psychological profile. I saw it once. Recommended sending me to mental refreshment when I was young. Repeatedly. Something about killing sprats. But my parents were able to keep that from happening. The paranoia the Protectorate creates in its subjects crowds everything else out. Even familial love. They were terrified that my behavior would lead people to start looking at them askance. You remember I told you they were vigilant, right? They could have helped me in numerous ways, ways lesser subjects' parents couldn't. But they did nothing. Just locked me away until I learned to hide my feelings. My existence was always bleak, joyless, without purpose. Just like every other subject's. Dagmar was the first friend I'd had since I was a young child. She gave me a life. A family. Or so I thought. Thank you. But Dagmar has shown me I can't depend on anyone. I have to let my beliefs guide me now. They're all I have left. It's hard to explain, but outside of the lab, thinking only ever confused me, got me into trouble. Since I joined the Dawn, everything has been so much simpler. I depend on the Dawn's beliefs. Without them, I would have nothing but a purposeless existence. I just can't, and I won't. I'm certain we've better things to do than whatever this is.
Alive. No, let's not be too hasty here. You seem a rational person. There must be something we can do to resolve this peacefully. Please don't let Azza get her hands on me.
Why are you talking to them, Dagmar? I'm the one you must answer to. Well, I'm waiting to hear your ineffectual arguments as to why you should be spared. And then I'll kill you. You can start by telling me why. Why'd you do it, and why me?
Why? I'm a loyal subject to the True Protectorate. What other reason is there? When the Consul tasked me to help save the colony, I did not even think to ask why. And you were an obvious choice. So lost, so dead inside. But then you went berserk. I never could have imagined how you'd take to the killing and mayhem. You brought me great praise from the Consul. Until you started asking questions and killing the wrong people.
Enough of this blathering on. It's well past time for Dagmar and her life to part ways. As I told you before, there's only death for those who would betray the cult.
Unfriendly company. There's wrong.
She's dead.
Not quite. Our enthusiasm got the better of us. She should have suffered more. It was too quick a death for one who betrayed not only me, but the whole of the Dawn. Now that Dagmar is dead, I'll be leading the Dawn into the glorious future. You're absolutely right. They turned on me once, they could do it again. And it will be easier to pick them off if I disband the Dawn. I can send out a general message to all the cells from here.
I'll say our communications have been compromised or some such. That the Exalted Leader is dead and that they need to separate and protect themselves. That should work, though I suspect a fair amount will simply just jump into the closest rift. I'm sure there will be some that ignore the message completely, though.
Enough to keep my knife skills up at least.
It's done. Let's leave this place. It sickens me.
Asa, you might follow a ruinous religious doctrine and be driven by irrational bloodthirsty urges, but you're a rather effective killer, and I respect that.
That means a lot, coming from such a ruthless purveyor of death. Wish you'd let yourself really get into it sometimes, though. Get your face and hands drenched in blood.
That sounds disgusting, dear. Though I do appreciate the sentiment.
It's strange how I ended up here. With the cult nothing but an empty, discarded idea. If I hadn't started traveling with you, I may have spent my days hunting down the members I thought traitors and never realized it was Dagmar until too late. You may not have noticed, but I have a tendency to be a little impulsive. Reckless, even. Not too reckless to heed your counsel, at least when it comes to the remnants of the Dawn.
Glad there are people out here like you. Gives hope. Both of us, well, we're forever in your debt. Ah, before I forget, here, this is for you. Thank you ever so much for freeing my father.
My friend from Placid Waters. Appreciate you fetching the pitch ball Millie got me. And of course, the escort out of there. though mostly the pitch ball. Wonderful, wonderful. So good to see Millie again. Don't know how to do anything here, but I can sing to my heart's content. You heading out? Do take care. Again, much obliged.
Tired of firearms that explode in your face? Come to Not a Weapons Store.
I see you're back from the Protectorate's little mind manipulation spa. All their secrets in hand, yes?
Our team at Proprietary Insight Acquisition has been salivating over the potential commercial applications of that process.
All of you base rank and file. The big rift cuts off Tussfall news from the home. But our Arcadia Grown League is a worthy substitute. Certainly a more profitable program.
Well, got what we needed. Sometimes a body count can't be helped.
Better in the ground than in our enemy's employ. Nice work, my ameliorator.
Now, I assume you won't mind we have a few questions about the process. Our people will extract details about the pharmacology and methodology. That will all no doubt prove useful, but we're most interested in the technology and its results.
Steers in the seats. A blood sport without blood sounds like red ink to Auntie. Our Tussfall teams play for keeps. I witness no.
Can't say I like the sound of that. Seems like they'd be difficult to market to.
How truly unfortunate. Those without desire or drive make terrible customers. They could barely even be considered consumers at all.
What else can you tell us about the place? Turn up any additional details? Anything especially marketable?
Fiscal week. Even with half our team's 32 backs benched, they'd forfeit by middle time. It would be an embarrassment of body goals. Imagine the ad windfall. Our athletic assets would achieve full profit potential.
But still, they keep on marketing it as virtually foolproof, don't they? So much for their vaunted moral high ground. And so much for us exploiting that piece of technology. That's certainly interesting. Intriguing, even. What else? Oh, good to know, good to know. Excellent. Well, here's your reward, along with something extra for your effort. Too bad about the lead scientist. Converting him would have earned you an above-average payout. All right. For your next assignment, well, it's something of an organizational priority.
Congratulations! Your storied success has earned you a whole entire minute with our illustrious leader, Auntie Cleo!
So your preliminary chores are complete? Finally, a contractor with a little backbone. Normally they flee or expire, leaving the work woefully incomplete.
Ah, I remember you from before. Fairfield, yes? Tell me, as an outside agent, do you have any quandaries working with our organization? Well, I appreciate the clarity, if not the lack of guile. For now, I suppose we'll remain uncomfortable bedfellows, if not ideological fellow travelers. Do hope you'll forgive these two. They're competing for a rather significant promotion, you see. It tends to make employees fractious, like young ursopods cooped up in the den. So, you've been advancing a fairly radical idea with a group that, to date, we've considered our rivals. Certain communications have even been exchanged between our ship and the Order's headquarters. You've spoken to the delegates, yes?
Auntie's choice, we strive to be 110% wholly plus artificial.
A cessation of hostilities could present any number of potentially profitable options, assuming we could work out favorable terms. Oh, my security team would never allow it, but a call like this over a secure line should be an acceptable alternative. Of course, Ruth would also need to agree. Perhaps if you were to perform a few useful errands for the Order, you might earn a meeting with her to propose the same. Have Ruth reach out when she's ready to talk, and I'll set up a call on a secure line next door.
Do better. I'll give it to you straight in my quarterly underperformance.
Ah, you've made such progress moving us toward an Order Auntie's Choice alliance. Everything seems to be going according to the plan so far. But we approach a critical juncture. When you go in to speak with the presiding bishop, please raise the issue with her. I assure you this is the correct thing to do. For yourself, for us, for Arcadia. If you continue working for the Order alone, it will likely burn any possible bridge with Auntie's Choice. So this is our last and only chance. Farewell. I would say good luck, but I put no stock in chance, only probability. May the plan favor us against long odds.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. As I told you in my message, a splinter group was responsible for recruiting your fellow agent and tasking her to perpetrate that heresy. The conviction of those radicals was such that they elected to perish from exposure to Cloister's wilderness to avoid fouling their predictions and my interference. Their interpretation of the data was at odds with mine. I forbade them taking action, to no avail, obviously. I disavowed their actions then, as I do now. A wise leader is always open to constructive criticism. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. I admit, when I sent my initial message, I did not exactly know who its recipient would be, but I trusted the plan. And lo and behold, it provided you as the solution. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. If your actions were so easily imitable, then we would not be speaking right now. Accept the credit. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. I just received the most curious transmission from Auntie Cleo. She wishes to discuss a partnership of sorts, and I heard you were the source of this plot. I must admit I have significant doubts about colluding with an entity like Auntie's Choice. Why should the Order agree to even entertain the possibility?
Simply put, we got the troops, the firepower, and the know-how to beat the Protectorate. Respectfully, I think we both know that your forces can't do that on their own.
Military support loses its usefulness quickly in times of peace. It is that which gives me pause, among other concerns. Wise enough to recognize the perils, too. But the right course often involves remaining open to new possibilities. Auntie Cleo has already proposed a secure conference room on board the Undisputed Claim for our use. I will await your arrival there to mediate.
Failed to cite her work completely. I worked with presiding Bishop Orlo, you know. Now there was a serious scientician.
nature heedlessly assembled and thusly rebetted it.
If you have business here, don't let me keep it.
Strive to be 110% whole, artificial. Artificiality is our
Look who it is, the instigator of this little affair. Her mathematicalness should be along soon, unless the leader of the Order's too busy crunching numbers to attend to business.
There we are. Apologies for the delay. We were resolving some technical issues. Cloister's atmosphere has a tendency to...
Oh, yes! Regale us with a thorough account of Cloister's atmosphere. Spare no detail.
This must be Auntie Cleo's trademark wit. I expected better.
Why, I don't know what you're referring to, I'm sure. Compared to how I treat my staff, I'm being a peach.
If I was discourteous, I apologize. So long as our mediator proves up to the task, surely we can remain civil. If not, these negotiations may prove short indeed.
From where I'm positioned, I sense 3 sore points still in need of massage. Point 1, control of the archive. Point 2, oversight of production and distribution of skip cores. And point 3, management of Rift technology.
Before we go any further, I want it in writing that the Order will take full control of the archive without interference from Auntie's choice.
What? So the Order can set it fruitlessly idling for another few centuries? We would put it to far more practical use. Imagine the marketing strategies it could develop.
I would sever my own hand before giving custody of the archive over to a corporation. Humanity's ascension depends on its calculations. No, such a condition is out of the question.
These things happen, and if you haven't heard your name yet, breathe easy. That's it for this demotions report.
I am amenable to that proposition. Less work on our part.
I'm waiting to hear an argument that would support such a ludicrous proposal.
No one said anything about paying, but, it would be a pittance compared to the future profits we might derive.
Involving money in science seems questionable. But having access to Auntie's resources would be useful for our research. Fine. Yes, I agree. Reluctantly.
Ruth, I commend you for being so receptive. And I assure you that Auntie's choice values science. Nothing bad has ever happened when science and commerce are combined.
On the subject of science, it would be most prudent for us to discuss who will be overseeing the management of skip drives, specifically the production of skip cores.
No one understands production like we do. Besides which, we have far more experience using skip drives. It was how we came to Arcadia, after all.
Where Auntie's choice manages, the Order would undoubtedly excel. Do not exclude us from consideration merely for lack of experience.
So you ramp up production? And then what? Hand skip drives out for free to whoever wants one? Preposterous! And a waste of a perfectly good monopoly.
We would be diligent about who we licensed out the skip drives to. And a monopoly over space travel is precisely what I wish to avoid. This technology should benefit all humanity. That assumes Auntie's choice would even abide by such a list of restrictions, and which would almost be impossible for the Order to enforce.
Not to worry. We can build a regulatory commission to oversee production and make sure everything is up to Auntie's choice and Order standards. Oh, partiality concerns are a thing of the past. Obviously, regulators would be incentivized to care most about the safety of the consumer. You know, right after production costs.
As would the likelihood that we will eventually improve upon it. We shall allow Auntie's control of the current design. There is still the question of who takes possession of the Protectorate's rift technology once the war is finished. Although the science is still largely theoretical, this technology could be used to not only close rifts, but create new ones. A dangerous power indeed, left in the wrong hands.
The Order would fritter away valuable time endlessly hand-wringing what to do with the technology. Auntie's Choice would actually use it. For good, of course. In a gainful manner.
Trust your auntie. Limber up from motivating lecture employees. Just because your auntie...
A 50-50 split? But that's so... equal. Goodwill rarely converts well into bits. But I suppose I do take your point. If Ruth's open to it, I believe I can agree on the general terms here. And, well, we can haggle over minor quibbling details like percentages later.
I shall look forward to brokering the math with you, Cleo. There is one final matter I wish to discuss. I require some chemicals that I have been told are manufactured at a plant on Praetor, controlled by Auntie's Choice.
I know which plant you're referring to, Ruth, and what comes out of it is hardly safe for general use. Out of professional curiosity, what could you possibly need with such dangerous compounds? Running a little experiment, are we? On what? Or whom?
That is, quite frankly, none of your concern.
Precisely. Partners don't withhold secrets, although they can and probably should withhold extremely dangerous chemicals if not properly notified of what they will be used for.
I will make no progress with my request without further explanation, will I? While the Archive is an infinitely complex machine, an equally complex apparatus has been designed which allows one to interact with it directly. Brain-to-logic assembly, as it were. Unfortunately, this headgear exacts a rather tremendous cost on the wearer. A certain panacea is needed to survive it, but I require these chemicals to finish it. Certainly, but nothing I'm not prepared to suffer.
And I thought we were the ones who threw caution to the wind. Well, Ruth, if worst comes to worst, I'd be happy to serve as a substitute teacher for the Order.
A generous offer, but I fear you lack a certain number of qualifications. Conscience, for example. You sound just like Laureate Beckett. I'm weary of having this debate, especially as I can never seem to win it. Very well. Never mind about the chemicals. Now is not the time for risky experimentation at any rate.
Oh, bother. Here I wanted to see Ruth lobotomize herself. Oh, well. Best I'll say is today's outcome is workable. Barely. Our gains were not as exclusive as I had hoped they'd be.
Arriving at any arrangement even remotely equitable was statistically improbable. Be glad our mediator managed to find a middle path forward. As am I. You certainly have a way of curving probability into your favor.
Well, that'll be all for today. Don't forget to purchase the latest in Auntie's Choice products out on the value-added Esplanade, or enjoy a refreshing cocktail at the Best Choice. And do come see me personally when you have time. I have just the thing in mind for an accomplished freelancer such as yourself.
One moment. There are still the logistics of recapturing the Archive to consider.
We'll, of course, provide our expert troops to support these efforts. Have your people call my people to sort details. Toodaloo!
Brusque as ever. Auntie's troopers will certainly help us manage the Protectorate forces easier, especially if supported by your help. But it would be irrational to expect you to endanger your own life without a more specific strategy in place. Fortunately, I have already given this some thought. First, Order forces must move into our former headquarters at Spyreton. A simpler task now that you have liberated it. By all accounts, you thoroughly routed the enemy. Well done. More importantly, there is a lift located in Spyreton which can deliver our troops into the Archive to assist you against the Protectorate. Unlocking and calling that lift can only be done from within the Archive, however. So you will need to infiltrate the Archive by alternate means, via a bridge connected to Newton. Fortunately, I am told you already dealt with the cultists there. Unfortunately, you will still need to find a way past a small rift currently blocking the bridge. Ordinarily, I do not fancy surprises, but you are proving an exception to that rule. With such a device in hand, bypassing the rift should be as rudimentary as pie. And perhaps at some later date, you will also permit our scientists to analyze this gadget at length in one of our labs, provided all goes according to plan. There is a computronical key that you will also need to locate within the Archive called the Calcaduceus. The Calcaduceus grants special access to the Archive. Once it is back in Order hands, we will have full control over its systems once more. Rift data. And how did you come by this acquisition, if I may ask? It troubles you what you had to do to get this data. It must have been a difficult choice. But difficulty is not a metric useful in judging a decision as right or wrong. Something hard is only hard. Time determines the rest. Until the Order has control over the Archive again, this discussion is all but moot. You know what must be done. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
That was some damn fine intermediation, Commander. You might just have a future in finance. You know, after Auntie and the Order trounce the Protectorate.
We've successfully co-opted yet another of our rivals. Can't believe those eggheads accepted the deal. What's next on my agenda?
That outside contractor is here. You requested a brief tete-a-tete.
Ah, there you are. Our fresh-faced new go-getter. We meet in the flesh at last. You've proved quite useful. Keep it up. You'll be going places. You don't seem much put off by my appearance. Good. I have no stomach for those with no stomach regarding me having no stomach. It is, however, something of a brand secret reserved for only the most trusted confidants. And covered in detail buried within the confidentiality clause you agreed to on arrival. I trust this presents no concerns for you, yes?
Well, ain't meaning no disrespect. It's just everyone was saying that you were focused on a product launch or avoiding assassination attempts. That's why you weren't seen in public.
Poor dear, believing that erroneous drivel. You do know I have a reputation to maintain. I can't let every rung leech know my condition and open the door for plotting. I ask again, do you have any problems with the previously mentioned stipulations? Fortunately, when you're the head of an advanced medical technology corporation, you become first in line for any experimental life-preserving procedures. As far as what happened, I was the victim of an unfortunate industrial accident shortly after we arrived here, the details of which are less salient than the details of what comes next.
not exactly. Well, exactly. But not in the way you think. We have a mission for you that is vital to Auntie's Choice's survival.
We've uncovered an opportunity to procure me a new, audaciously improved replacement body. There was a past proposal to utilize graphs, but, once I saw what happened to those misfortunates in the experiment, like your hanger-on here, the idea was promptly abandoned.
Wait, are you saying that the grafting program was only started up to help you with your condition? And was shuttered because it couldn't?
Yes, keep up, dear. You think we would have invested money in such a risky procedure for gains on the battlefield? Well, that's what bombs are for.
That means your scientists lied to us, and our suffering didn't mean anything at all. Is that right? Me and mine were just lab sprats to you this whole time?
This is what you signed up for. Tell me, did you also believe that we came here to solely liberate Arcadia and not for its resources? Oh, you did. How sad. I'll have you know, we at Auntie's Choice are far from blood simple. Where's the profit in killing all your enemies when you can co-opt and sell goods to them later? Ah, tut-tut. No, to find me the perfect body, you'll be assailing an inappreciably populated, automated automech factory over on Praetor. Not just any automechanical, something much, much more exciting. That facility was designed to build complex automechs, a natural choice when the Protectorate began experimenting with a proxy body for the original Sovereign. It was the last in a long line of his ill-fated life extension experiments. Work halted when he died, and the torso prosthesis they developed has been locked in the lab ever since. Make it mine.
Bolster defenses to protect key assets. Some of the order-derived direction can be downright oblique, but this is clear. Auntie is our most key asset.
Admit I'm finally beginning to come around to that computronic little plan. Perhaps there is something to having the archive advise on market strategy and positioning.
Yes, I've begun to draw the same conclusion. Appears it can be a useful tool in the right hands. In any case, next steps. There's a sub-facility beneath the automech factory. Its entrance, being hidden, is easy to miss. But we can show you how to find it.
Well then, fetch me my new body and we can finally begin bringing this system to heel.
Don't let us keep...
Good luck, my ameliorator. Remember, you can't spell heinous ascetic without Auntie's Choice.